For more analysis, we're joined from Washington by Dr. Dan Rene, political researcher. Good evening to you, sir.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. Good evening.
Thank you so much for being with us. And if I may ask you, Trump has consistently positioned himself as the most pro-Israel president in the US history. Now, considering his previous support for the wars in the region, how do you think a second Trump administration might handle future Israeli aggression in Gaza and Lebanon, particularly in terms of diplomatic and military support?
Right. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here to talk about these incredibly important issues. The fact is that waking up to a Trump victory is going to be a big surprise and a shock for many, not just here in the United States, but throughout the world. And so when it comes to this longstanding conflict in the war on Gaza, I think that there is going to be some noticeable changes that we're going to see, and we're going to see them here pretty quickly. We do know that Trump has been a staunch supporter of Israel, but so has the current administration. So I don't think that we're going to see a whole lot of differences in terms of the U.S. support for Israel. But I do think that we'll see a little bit more support to solve the humanitarian crisis and try to find in Gaza and try to find a way to end some of the aggression, some of the war, some of the violence that we're seeing out there, because the American people have got a great fatigue when it comes to this war. And when we're seeing these images of the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, the continued attacks, the continued violence, and the lack of diplomacy and leadership that we've seen from the current administration, I think that having someone else come to the table for diplomacy will be a breath of fresh air for the United States and throughout the world.